Good morning, Madam Chair, Pak Budi. It is a pleasure to be here in person this year to share this update on behalf of our global team at Room to Read. Ladies and gentlemen, the pandemic has changed the way we all look at education. And last year, we talked about how we can support learning recovery, how digital tools can help mitigate learning loss, and ways to support learning among students in historically low-income communities around the world. Last year, I shared an example from Indonesia, specifically about Literacy Cloud, which is Room to Read's digital platform that offers a high-quality collection of storybooks for children, as well as videos and other resources for teachers who are supporting children's literacy. So we also requested last year for your support in India, Vietnam, and South Africa, where we plan to adopt these virtual learning resources to support teaching and learning of reading. Therefore, I'm really excited to be here today to share this update and some of the developments of our initiatives this past year. The reality is that in Indonesia and many other countries in the region, children lack access to appropriate reading materials to support reading development. I'm not talking about textbooks. We're talking about those books that bring out the imagination and that love and joy of reading. Many teachers have also not been adequately trained on effective reading strategies to bring out this love and joy of reading. Therefore, in Indonesia, for example, our long-term vision is for every government primary school to have a functioning school library with a high-quality collection of books, where teachers are trained and there is a library period where every class in the school can visit the library at least once a week. This past year, our Indonesia work has been centered on learning how to maximize existing resources to scale through virtual training in collaboration with partners, local governments, and schools. In Indonesia, I'm pleased to share that in 2022, to date, we've had the opportunity to work with local governments to establish 196 school libraries in 3 regions and engage more than 6,000 teachers in training on reading activities, all through virtual training, potentially benefiting up to 80,000 children. Last year, I also talked about our plans to expand our digital platform, Literacy Cloud, to support the teaching and learning of reading in India, Vietnam, and South Africa. Since then, in India, our team is using Literacy Cloud to showcase books to publishers and facilitate licensing opportunities to get hard copies of books into the hands of children, which is especially important in rural, remote areas where the internet is not accessible. In Vietnam, where we are working with the government to scale school libraries on a national level, our team has been integrating the resources on Literacy Cloud into training at the local and provincial levels. In South Africa, our team has used the books on Literacy Cloud to support national teacher training during the pandemic to keep reading momentum up at home, which is so important to children's reading development. In Indonesia specifically, over the next few years, we will continue to use the resources on Literacy Cloud through virtual training to support scale and sustainability of reading through 3 main levers. The first is we aim to increase the demand for quality storybooks. We aim to work with and engage 30,000 teachers through virtual training on effective reading strategies. Second, we aim to increase the supply of quality books by working with commercial publishers in Indonesia and train more authors and illustrators on the latest science of children's book development. We plan to develop 30 to 40 new storybooks and distribute over 400,000 copies of the books to schools throughout the country. Finally, we aim to work with the local governments to find ways to increase the capacity of schools to use storybooks effectively with children to bring out that love of reading. So by doing this, we hope to establish 400 school libraries in regions throughout the country, including training on library management, as well as effective reading activities. We aim to do this and accomplish these goals by working very closely with local government, partners, as well as the school communities. And the aim is to reach, by 2025, 1 million children in Indonesia through these initiatives. As we continue expanding for these strategies for effective virtual training, I want to say thank you to the PAS for your support this last year. And we welcome the opportunity to work with like-minded organizations that support equity and education for all children. With your support, our work will be mirrored throughout Asia, and we will be able to support educators across various communities and languages to provide many more children with the gift of reading. So thank you very much for your time. If others have questions about Room to Read, Literacy Cloud, our work in India, Indonesia, Vietnam, South Africa, or the other contexts where we work, we'll be outside in the foyer after break and later on this afternoon. Thank you.
As founder and chairman of Education Commission Asia, I'm delighted to join you virtually at the Temasek Philanthropy Asia Summit. When I was the Minister of Education, Science and Technology in the Republic of Korea, the country was undergoing major transformations in economy, industry, and education. In the era of artificial intelligence, how do we define humanity and its role? The answer lies in education. High-touch, high-tech for all is EC and ECA's answer to catalyze the learning revolution. There are two engines, high-touch provided by teachers and high-tech provided by technology. With AI, adaptive learning technology can tailor instruction to individual student levels and needs. Teachers can provide personalized guidance and active learning experiences to nurture 21st century skills such as creativity, critical thinking, collaboration, and communication skills. High-touch, high-tech moves us away from all students receiving the same lessons at the same time at the same speed, to each student receiving personalized lessons at the right time at her own speed. As former minister, I have seen countless innovations to transform learning. I believe that high-touch, high-tech is the most promising way to transform education for all. Let us unite in vision and mission for high-touch, high-tech for all.
On behalf of the Education Commission, I'm delighted to share with you High Touch, High Tech for All. The Education Commission is a global initiative encouraging progress on SDG 4, inclusive and quality equitable education for all. We're chaired by the UN Special Envoy for Global Education, Gordon Brown, and supported by 26 high-level commissioners. As Dr. Lee said, high touch, high tech fuels the two drivers in education, the teacher and the tech. The adaptive tech powers the foundational levels of learning, while the teacher, armed with real-time data, can develop students' higher order and 21st century skills through active, adaptive learning. We believe that while AI provides the intelligence, the teacher provides the wisdom. Evidence for the last 15 years, such as teaching at the right level, shows that it does improve learning. Because of adaptive tech that's available now, we can shift to a personalized learning model for the right student at the right time with the right lesson. The Vietnam prototype has delivered on this promise. We tested HDHT for grade 7 maths, and in one semester, math scores increased dramatically, showing learning gains of an equivalent of 2 years' worth of learning in just one semester. And HDHT is growing. The schools in Vietnam are taking it upon themselves to sustain HDHT, expanding to more classrooms. The work in South Korea is growing exponentially. The Asia Hub has reached over 12,000 students and partnered with over 100 organizations. In HDHT Uruguay, we have reached over 100 schools and nearly 3,000 students. And HDHT Cambodia, led by Teach for Cambodia, has reached 700 students in just 3 months. But we don't want to stop there. We need your help to raise $4.5 million so that in Indonesia, we can develop an HDHT prototype for pre-service teacher training. In the Philippines, we can pilot HDHT for grade 3 maths to reach the most underserved learners. In Cambodia, we can expand the pilot to reach even more marginalized children in rural areas. In Vietnam, we can start phase 2 so that H2HT can be taken up to national scale. In Ghana, we can start the study to catalyze H2HT Africa. And we will ensure that the lessons and the evidence are shared between these countries and beyond so that they can adopt and scale up this approach themselves. Together, we can reach 5,500 children and 700 teachers. Learning poverty has worsened in the last 2 years. 70% of 10-year-olds are now unable to read a simple line of text. And this generation now risks losing 21 trillion in potential lifetime earnings. If there ever was a time to come together to educate our children, it's now. I'll be outside at the booth at the High Touch, High Tech, and we would love to talk to you. And hopefully together, we can achieve inclusive, quality, equitable learning for all children. Thank you.